morning, everybody. I'm at home this morning, and I kind of wanted to get this job done here. Just a small job. I got lots of rock here. Of course, we're on a mountaintop, so I got tons of rock, and I had this vacant spot around this front porch. So I thought, I'm gonna put some rock in here and put a little flower garden in here. But what really got me kick-started was I went to an estate sale the other day in downtown, and a fella had passed away, and he probably had the most beautiful wildflower garden that I've ever seen, and thick and dense, full of North American wildflowers. It was really, really nice. I've never seen a more lush wildflower garden. But anyway, at the estate slash lawn sale, the daughter is selling wildflowers. Just bring a spade and dig your fully mature wildflowers right out of the perennial garden behind the garage in the backyard. So I'm just prepping this for MJ, and actually she doesn't even know I'm doing it because she's at work. And I'm going to landscape this with fabric, cheap fabric. Just throw it down. It's already got lots of 3/4 clear and then crusher run on top underneath the base of this. So what I'm gonna do is just throw some rocks down, just do a little bit of hardscaping here, and I just want to fill this corner in. I got the excavator back there. We'll go pick up some rocks, and I'm gonna plant wildflowers in here, native species wildflowers, and it's gonna be somewhat like this little guy over here. That's all. It's just going to be a little bit different, just a little bit bigger. And that's ultimately, and there goes a snake. Oh, you can't see him. He just went in there. He's always in here. A big garter snake. So yeah, that's what my ultimate goal is. And to get a bit bigger wildflower garden than this, of course. This was already here when we moved here. We just added a few plants to it. And as you can see, there's rocks everywhere. I'm going to carry on with this here, and we'll work on this. As you can see, that after loading those rocks there, that L2501, that's a good tractor for what it is, for 25 horse tractor, compact tractor. And it'll carry over 1,000 pounds in the bucket of that tractor, and safely. And if you'll notice, I'll just show you quickly here. I got a 350 pound counterweight on there, which is a must. It works good, so we'll carry on with this. And I really don't have any layout in mind, but I don't want some pure symmetry on this either. I don't want something that looks like it was purposely laid out here, really. I want something that's a little jagged and a little disproportioned a little bit, because I'm going to fill this all up with topsoil and things are going to flow, and I just want the wildflowers to be all over the place in here. I don't want something that's square or purely laid out that looks like it's man-made, if you know what I'm saying. Oh, and I have never introduced you guys to this little fella here. That's Milo. I think Milo is 50% Jack Russell. This is just my guess. And 50% Chihuahua. That's what I think he is. I think he's half Chihuahua and half Jack Russell. And he's a fearsome little beggar. He doesn't have that off switch when it comes to tying into game either, which is kind of silly, but that's just how he is. So, for everybody watching the video, here. This is Milo. Hey, you're a good boy, aren't you? You're a good boy. And you just like it. He loves getting into mischief. That's Milo, and Copper's the purebred Jack Russell. She's in the house. She's old, like I say, very deaf and getting pretty blind. So I only let her out when machinery is not running, because you know what? I don't think she can hear a piece of machinery coming. I'd probably back right over her guts or something. So I just leave her in the house when I'm working outside. He can just hang around. Okay. And I think we'll go get a couple more rocks. Okay, so here we are at the rock pile. All these rocks I'll show you have all been picked out of my yard behind me here. And I'll swing around and show you, because my other camera's at the house. And all these rocks are from clearing this yard behind me. Every spring you got to pick rocks, and I had to do a lot of clearing when I came here, when I bought this place. So you have a look and you'll see the amount of rocks there. Anyway, I saved them. We're going to put them to use. So we'll load up that tractor. My thumb open on this, I'm going to leave that thumb closed the way it is, and I'm going to pop that bucket open, trying to prevent that rock from rolling out the front of that bucket. So we'll leave the thumb in place, and what we'll do is we'll pop the bucket open rather than pop the thumb open. That way that thumb can kind of guide that rock right into that bucket versus having it fall out the front, which can easily happen. Place those rocks up at the head. So I set a few rocks in here, and of course tomorrow when I wake up and look at it, I'll probably change my mind a little bit and add something here and there. It happens all the time. I put a little bit of that landscape fabric down, and you know what? That stuff's not very good, the landscape fabric. You got to get the good quality, and you get that in North Bay. Landscape fabric. This is kind of the cheesy, because there's minimal weeds here, and that's what I get in town. This 5-year stuff here, you know what? The weeds will go right through that. I mean, it's guaranteed 5 years, but guess what? Really, it'll slow them down, but they'll go right through that. But anyway, and if I could have got the good stuff in town here, I would have bought the good stuff. I ran the landscape fabric this way, 5-year landscape fabric this way, and then I used the rest and I just checkerboarded it the other way. Used everything I had, and now what we're going to do, we'll throw some topsoil in there. Alright, so now we got some screen topsoil. We got our crusher run underneath, landscape fabric. Now we're going to dump some screen topsoil in there. I got about 20 yards hanging around over there. No better time than to try out this nice landscape rake. I just got it. I ordered it actually on Amazon because, hey, nobody local's got a landscape rake, and this is actually a true landscape rake. One edge for leveling, one edge for sifting and leveling and dragging material and really combing through the soil. So it's got two purposes, this rake. So, and it's good. It's not really meant for this as much, but you know what? I got it. I'm using it. And this is screened topsoil here. This goes right through the screening plant, and then I pick it up. course, what's going to happen with this topsoil? It's going to settle. And they may, on a heavy rain too, tend to want to go between the rocks a little bit. So we're not worried about that. Now we come back to the job with a regular rake, and put that big landscape rake away. It's good, but I just wanted to try it. Okay, good morning, you guys. Monday morning. I'm going to finish up this little bit of hardscaping and rock feature I put here for MJ and myself, of course, just to fill in this spot here. And here's how far I've gotten on this project now. The majority of the plants are in right now, and we've got a little bit of some sort of hybrided Rudbeckia black-eyed Susie. I'm not 100% sure what that is right there. And bee balm. We got bee balm in right there, and phlox over there, and we got some mature lupine. They're done blooming for the year, of course, and some iris right there. So I put a little bit of everything in here, and we got some poppy coming into flower right there. So now one final step left on this, and some echinacea right there. Coneflower, purple coneflower, whatever. Pretty hardy plant. Pretty much anybody can grow this stuff, man. These can take super dry conditions. And so really all that's left here is I'm going to put maybe a couple hostas in here. Break it up a little bit with some hostas, but now I'm going to mulch it. I went to town and I just come home. I picked up some mulch, and of course they're all sold out of colored mulches, and that's fine. I'm just going to put some natural cedar mulch in here. So that's really what's left. And we have some bags of the cedar mulch here. So that's what I'm going to put in there for now. We got 4 bags of these, and we'll give this mulch a go, and then keep that soil from drying out. So here we go. So not only is this mulch good for soil retention, moisture retention, but it helps retain some of that soil that may wash between the cracks where I didn't get the landscape fabric up and over the cracks and everything. So mulching it on top, it'll just help stop that wash, slow that down a little bit, and it'll actually slow the acceleration of water through the cracks too. It should all in all be pretty good. So to me it looks good, and it has multiple functions, mulch. I would never do a landscaping job like this, or hardscaping, whatever you want to call it, without putting mulch down. Same with a garden. My garden needs to be mulched for next year, because that's my first year garden over there. So next year we'll have some mulch. Okay, I'm going to give you guys, just off the top of my head, you see this little project here. I'll give you a rough cost of what it cost me to do this project right here. And each one of these plants I dug from an estate sale. As I said earlier in the video, $5 a plant. And I mean, $5 is pretty good considering the size of the plant, I think, because I know how long it takes to grow wildflowers from seed. So $5 a plant, and I think I spent $70 on plants. So approximately $70 on plants, and I spent $25 on mulch. So there's $100 right there for this project, and I probably spent, looking at my topsoil, wholesale, I bought it wholesale, I'm gonna say I spent probably $12 on topsoil, we'll say. So, and then my time and my diesel and all that, but we'll just look at these known costs right up front. So probably $115. This project cost me $115 roughly, and my time and diesel and stuff, but $115 for materials here. I had the rocks here, so that just gives you a rough idea on what I can do for myself, of course, for $115. Oh, and landscape fabric at $130. So this project cost me about $130. I think $15 for landscape fabric. So $130 this whole deal cost me. My labor, my time, my diesel, and my machinery, of course. So that just gives you a rough idea on the cost. All right, folks, there you have it. That's pretty much the completed little rock garden out front here. And remember, you kind of want to keep it well drained underneath, whether it be aggregate, sand, well drained soil, whatever. Just make sure it's well drained underneath. Hopefully fairly weed free. Clean off the weeds off the top if you can. And then landscape fabric with the best quality landscape fabric you can find. Now that's not me, because I couldn't find any here in town. I have to drive 120 kilometers round trip for landscape fabric. I'm not doing it. So I bought the cheaper landscape fabric and doubled it up. And then topsoil on top, good quality topsoil, really. That works really nice. And then put your plants in and mulch them. And I'm going to put a few hostas in. I want to get some variegated ones yet. I don't have any yet. I've got one over there, but it's not. And just finish this up with a few hostas, a little bit here and there. And then that's pretty much the finished product, really. A little bit of time and effort and muscle in there, and that's really what you end up with. I think it'd come out pretty good for wasted space here, really, at the corner of the deck that was doing absolutely nothing. And I'm going to continue on with this project probably on the other side, but most likely not this year, I don't think, anyway. So I'd like to just thank everybody for tuning in. And little projects like this don't have to be rocks this big, but it just shows you the average guy at home, the average person at home can do a project like this, man. If you got access to materials, really, and you can handle them by hand. These rocks are rather exceptional. They're off the property, and I happen to have equipment to lift them, so it makes life a whole lot easier. But even if you don't have rocks this big, you could still do a rock border outline and some hardscaping yourself. It's not hard, and just use a little imagination and creativity. So thanks for tuning in on this project, and if you got any suggestions or ideas, I'm not a true landscaper, and I don't pretend to be. I do a little bit here and there, and if you got any ideas or suggestions, man, throw them down, or questions. But that's it for this video, so thanks for tuning in.